Welcome into AZ Audibles on Sports360AZ.com. Down the line, we got Jordan Ham, we got Eric Sorensen, I'm Jared Cohen. On AZ Audibles, we're out every week checking out some high school football action, so we like to bring the notes and the different types of storylines than you would see at your day-to-day features that we like to do on Sports360AZ. Let's start with you, Eric. You were all over the map last weekend. What were some of your takeaways?
I was out last week, Jared, at Glendale Community College. Saguaro Centennial, the streak for the SaberCats is over. We hear a lot about their offensive line. Isaac Steele, a great quarterback and cornerback. John Rincon, one of their seniors, had a big game. He blocked a field goal late in the third quarter. He also had what turned out to be really the nail in the coffin for the SaberCats, a long 40-yard touchdown run late in the fourth quarter.
John Rincon, interesting story, a talented senior with all those big, high-profile guys. Jordan, how about you last weekend?
I was at O'Connor and Boulder Creek, and I really like this O'Connor team. Balin Markridge is the quarterback over there. He can run a little bit. He spreads the ball around to a lot of their very good receivers. And that defense, I just absolutely love them. They pin their ears back and get after the quarterback. They have some ball hawks in the secondary. And then on Boulder Creek side, Tristan D'Angelo. He's a sophomore receiver, 6'4", had 9 receptions, 175 yards. Last year, Troy Reed was the big name for Boulder Creek as a receiver. The defense is focusing on him, and that's opening up a lot for D'Angelo.
Interesting stuff. I was at 2 games last weekend. I was at Campo Verde against Williamsfield, also the Jones Bowl, Perry and Mesquite. I'm going to focus on Williamsfield. Every year, this is a very solid team, really good batch of players. What I like about their team is they always have just football players, maybe not individual skill sets or an athlete that's overbearing in one area or a big mammoth offensive lineman. They just have guys that just know how to play football. And this year, the guy that stood out for me in that realm is Kyle Stroh. We saw him last year on the defensive side of the ball, playing a little maybe safety, playing a little linebacker. He's doing that again this year. He's making plays on defense, and he's also a running back. He had a touchdown in that tough, grinded-out game they had with Campo Verde, who has a very impressive-looking defense. But Stroh is just one of those flat football players that we see each and every year on this Williamsfield team, and he really stood out to me. Guys, let's now look ahead to Week 2. As there's a lot of great games slated. Eric, you're going to be in Houston for the A&M ASU game, but what is, on a high school angle, something that you have your eye on?
Got to give a shout out to the Central Bobcats and head coach John Clanton. Last week, they snapped their 22-game losing streak. They beat Cortez 50-7. They've got a stud two-way lineman, Azur Kamara, 4 sacks, 6 tackles for loss for the Cats.
Central and Azur Kamara, definitely a great story. I know you did a feature back then before the season, so you guys should check that out on Sports360AZ. Jordan, how about you?
2 teams that love to throw the ball, Maricopa and Shadow Mountain. The 2 quarterbacks in this game, I think, are just going to light it up. You have Aaron Owens, who threw 6 touchdowns for Maricopa last week. Darian Spotsville for Shadow Mountain, who's a 2-sport athlete. I'm going to set the over-under on run plays at about 10, and I think I'm going to take the under on that. I'm expecting a big air attack from those 2.
And a lot of offense, not much defense. We'll see who can get the stops down the stretch. I'm going to be out at Corona against St. Mary's. Hey, these are 2 teams I think not very many expected a lot out of this season, but sure enough, this is 2 teams that are 2-0 facing up against each other. St. Mary's hasn't been 2-0 to start a season since 2006. They went 3-0 that same season. They have an opportunity to match that, and it's a pretty great story. They have a linebacker that I'm a big fan of, that I'm excited to see. Remember seeing him in a playoff game last year against Liberty, Abel Navarrete. He's a big guy, plugs those gaps, very gritty linebacker, and I'm excited to see what this game has entailed. That's it for this week. Jordan Ham, Eric Sorensen, Jared Cohen. This is AZ Audibles on Sports360AZ.com.